Today's Shadow of the Erdtree guide is to show folks how to get the Crimson Amber Medallion +3 and the Death Knight Twin Axe. So the quickest and easiest way to get to this is from the castle front, which is the site of grace in front of the bridge as you cross the main bridge in the DLC map. And if you use your horse and follow this trajectory right here, you will eventually come to a kind of a dead end, and there'll be a door with a dungeon inside it. So we're going to open that door once we get there. So if you make your way to the location, you'll kind of eventually come to an area where this looks like a small bridge. Ignore these guys if you want. You can just go straight forward with the horse. Just be careful with the barrels there. Be very, very quick about it, because there's guys throwing fire bombs up above. If you hang around too long, you'll get caught in the fire. And keep going all the way down. Now, you want to hop off the horse here because these little guys are really, really annoying, and there's about maybe 7 or 8 of them here. So you're better off just getting off rather than storming through the horse, because you're eventually going to get to the door of the dungeon and they're just going to follow you to that door anyway. So better off just hop off and take those guys out. I kind of nearly made a balls of this part, but I got away with it in the end. So again, just to confirm the location one more time, it's called the Fog Rift Catacombs. This is its location on the map. So you can go ahead and open up the door, and when you open the door, you're immediately going to be presented with a set of stairs. Head down those stairs and go down the elevator and you'll start the dungeon. Now, as soon as you enter this area, be careful, there's a guy here on the right hand side. Take him out and keep moving forward down the next set of stairs, and immediately there'll be a guy that'll fire kind of a cannon at you. These guys are really annoying and they take massive health. The best approach here is just to rush him, roll out of the way of the kind of cannon fire, and then take him out close range. Next, what you can do is grab the Ancient Dragon Knight's Cookbook. Again, watch the guy on the left here as you come into the room, and there's another guy there in the corner of the room as well. Go ahead and pick up the Cookbook. Proceed back to the previous room. Now you're going to take that stairs to the left, go all the way down. Now be very, very careful dropping down to this section, as immediately you could be hit with spikes. So heal up and then time it. I think maybe about 3 or 4 seconds, maybe in real time, to run past the kind of trap and proceed towards the second of 3 elevators. Now, as soon as you get to the next section here, there's going to be a couple of enemies here, one on the left and then about 3 underneath the stairs, and there's one enemy in particular who fires flames. Be very, very careful of him. I almost got killed by this asshole, as you can see here. So time it, take him out and grab all the items that are there. Once you're done there, proceed forward. Now there's a room to the right and there's a stairs to the left. Our main route will be the stairs to the left, but before you do that, take out the magician kind of dude in here, but there'll be another enemy as well who will try and rush you. Take him out, and then the best approach to get the other guy is again to rush and roll his attacks. Taking him out, and then I'm grabbing the Grave Glovework 2, handy to have those. So once you've grabbed that, proceed to the previous room and go down the stairs. Now be very, very careful here. This is one big massive trap, and also an enemy firing projectiles at you. I got caught here the first time as I quickly ran to the first kind of area where you can get cover from the main trap. So don't get caught like I did there. You can actually take the guy out with a critical hit as he drops down. So that's what I'm just going to do, get some vicious payback here. And again, you got to time this. It's about 4 or 5 seconds every time the kind of trap drops. Skip the first one and go to the next one, just to note, because if you actually enter that first one there as you were going towards it, it's just a pitfall, and you have to kind of just circle around and come back into the room again. So it's a bit of a waste of time. Anyway, once you've eventually moved towards this area, you will also come to a place where you can grab the pretty hefty Shadow Realm rune. You can consume that for, I think, about 50,000 runes or something, I think, off the top of my head. Anyway, once you've grabbed that, what you want to do is you want to jump up on this ledge here and then hop into the trap. There'll be a little bit of a gap. And then as soon as you go up, hop back out it, and you'll get a chest, and it'll give you a new Ash of War. Once you grab the Ash of War, wait for the trap to fall down again, and then actually land on top of the trap and make your way all the way across the other side. And eventually you'll find an area where you can jump in, and you're going to get a new weapon here. Stone sheathed sword. I haven't actually used it yet, but that's one of the new weapons, I believe, with the DLC. Once you've grabbed the weapon, head down the ladder. Be careful, there's about 3 or 4 enemies here, one on the left. Snaky Balls to himself there on the left. Take him out. And the guys with him. And once those guys are taken out, go ahead and grab the Ghost Glove worth 5, and you can actually drop down into this pit. Don't be afraid, you'll be fine, but you got to be careful here because you're back in the same room you were in previously with the big trap. Now this time you just got to time it to run across adjacent to the other side of the room. There'll be a little pause break you can take, and again timing yourself towards underneath that trap and then towards the last elevator. And what we're going to eventually get to now is we're at the boss. And this boss is quite tricky. I recommend you use whatever perks you have enabled. And I've also used my Flask of Wondrous Tears. And I'm also using one of my ashes, my upgraded ashes, to try and take this guy out. It took me a couple of tries to get this guy beaten. He does massive electric damage as well. So if you want to maybe take a consumable that reduces electricity damage or lightning damage or whatever you want to call it, recommended you do so. There's my previous death. I have a secondary attack that does massive damage with flame as well, so that worked quite effectively against the Death Knight. And I kind of let my Spirit Ashes do some kind of initial damage. Gotta get a roll out of the way of this one. Some of the bosses in the new DLC are really excessive on the elemental attacks, I'm finding as well. So I'm finding I'm using roll a lot more than I normally would in the normal game. So once you actually beat the Death Knight, it will unlock the talisman and it will unlock the new weapon. Happy days. Folks, if this has helped anybody and you're new to the channel, please consider like and subscribe, and it really helps me out, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.